What's up, gang? Welcome back to another video on my beautiful, beautiful people. Today, we're getting back on the phone. I'm giving you guys some lessons. We're talking about some things that are going to help you out in your personal development. If you are new here, my name is Coach Mack. I'm a fitness and life coach, and I am currently really trying to expand my brand and open up to those of you guys out there who are looking for somebody like me. Now, with that being said, I hope y'all doing well. I hope you've been having a great week, and when you're watching this, you're having a fantastic day. If not, it's going to get better. So I'm about to give you some gold nuggets. And if no one's told you they love you, I love you. And I mean that. Titling this video, do what you need to survive. And that phrase is super important to me because that phrase took me in a big transition in a hard point in my life. So a little bit of backstory. I did attempt to take myself to the pearly gates when I was 16 because I was just a rebellious youth. I was somebody who was misguided. I never blueprint to life. My parents were divorced. My mom worked full time. I was the youngest of four. And I had a lot of just internal turmoil and emotions and unexplained things that I decided to channel into just recklessness. I was partying too young. I was drinking and doing drugs, and it was all just all bad. But with that being said, I woke up in the hospital. And as clear as you can see, the plants around me, my couch right here, I had this one-on-one with the man upstairs, and he said, do what you need to survive. I need you here. I was 16 at the time, and I got kicked away from the pearly gates. It is what it is. And at that point, time stood still. And when you get a message like that from God himself, you kind of go, well, I guess I need to keep on trucking. And it was very misguided at the time. 15 years later, actually, I've got way more purpose. I've helped a bunch of people. I'm so glad that he kicked me out that day because I wouldn't have the wonderful life that I have now, the beautiful child, beautiful wife, great business, awesome people around me. So he spoke to me at the right time, and it was just a matter of me putting in the work to make sure that I got to where he wanted me to be and the man that he wanted me to be so I could help out y'all. So with that being said, I have Psalms 23 tattooed on my back. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, and thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. That is huge for me. It's tattooed on my back. And I got this done probably when I was about 18. And what's ironic about it is the same message that saved my life and keeps me going has an error in it. It's actually misspelled in permanent ink on my back. The cool thing about it is that if you're just reading it, you don't really pick up on the misspelling. It's one of those your brain will autocorrect it, but it'll feel weird. And then when you really look in detail, you go, oh, there is a the where the thou is supposed to be. Yeah, so it's ironic that the message that saved me that I got permanently put on my back is misspelled. And to this day, it's kind of crazy because it's a good representation of life. To think that life's going to be perfect, that's so not real. But obviously the things that keep you moving aren't going to be perfect either. Not every day is going to be sunshine and rainbows. There's going to be rough days out there, and there's going to be days with mistakes. But as long as you are operating within your why and your purpose, and you're doing all of it from the right filter of love, you're doing the right thing. We're humans. We're not perfect. We are imperfect beings. But the direction and posture of your heart, your mind, and your soul, then people can feel when you're genuine and doing it right. So that was kind of just the story time of kind of the big point and why this video is called Do What You Need to Survive, I Need You Here. If you look back in previous videos, you'll know I've done keynotes and speaking competitions where I go into a lot more detail about my story, but I wanted to give you guys the context of the 3 training grounds that I teach throughout my coaching. And I say training grounds because in Life's Athlete Coaching, I believe that life is the highest level of game that you're going to play. And the same way you practice for soccer, table tennis, whatever sport you play or didn't play, you got to have your pillars and your disciplines and your days of practice to get you good at those skills, both hard and soft. All right, so I'm not going to necessarily, there's no order to these training grounds, but all 3 of them are super relevant. And the first one I want to talk about is emotions. I'm going to share with you guys a saying, one that I, again, use myself, I use with all my clients. Life is not about finding yourself. It's about creating the person that you want to be. Who are you? Like the identity crisis is real amongst some people because if you sometimes like we'll keep it in the category of sports. If you grew up in sports and it's something that your parents made you do, then by the time you got to elementary school, high school, you played travel teams or college, whatever the case may be. If you've identified yourself so much to that sport, the second you stop playing, you go, what do I do with my time? How do I take care of myself? What are my goals? Because now it's not scoring, it's paying my bills. And that can be a huge identity shift. And a lot of us, if you're in my shoes to where you didn't necessarily have a blueprint of, oh, I'm just going to do what my dad did, you're even more lost. So the first question you got to kind of wrestle with yourself is like, who are you? What do you value? What excites you? What gifts do you have that you can serve others with? What impression do you want to leave on this world? And this is training ground. This is one of the training grounds because if you don't know what your life's why is, you don't know what your purpose is, it's going to be really hard to find balance. I've mentioned in past videos that I always ask my like team that I work with and people I do check-ins with, what is your stress to fulfillment ratio? If you don't know what makes you feel fulfilled, you're just going to be stressed. Like your body doesn't know the difference between good stress and bad stress. It's just stress. But if it's filling your cup because it's the planning of something that you want to do for other people, yeah, there's that stress there. But you know the outcome is going to fulfill you. The getting things done, the knocking out the to-do list, you feel fulfilled because it's pushing you in the direction of the person that you want to be, of the things you want to accomplish, of the legacy that you want to leave. So the training ground number one is just figuring out what do you need to be emotionally charged and emotionally fulfilled. Who is that person that you want to wake up and be and see in the mirror? And what actions do they need to be completing so that you know that you are living to be the best you because the world needs that. See what I did there? So that's going to be the first training ground. Again, these are in no particular order. All right, now the second training ground that we're going to work about, we're talking about the body. Another saying for you, movement is medicine and motion is lotion. Those may sound a little funny, but it's so real. There's been studies proven that if you can become consistent on a workout routine, it releases the same exact endorphins that taking like mental health meds does. I'm not a doctor, but I've read a lot of the books and I've worked with people in bodies for a long time. And sometimes you're not just stressed and anxious, you just need to go get some steps in. The energy you have pent up in yourself, you haven't let go yet. What we consume is all energy. And if you're not using it, it just manifests inside of us in weird ways, especially if you're not exercising it mentally, physically, emotionally. I remind everybody that this body that you have is the vessel that carries you through life. If we know that there are going to be stresses and resistance that we're going to hit, we want to be strong for those things. Yes, the aesthetic goals are beautiful and they're helpful and they're nice. They make clothes fit. We like the compliments. All of that is true. But when you lay your head down at night, the pain that you feel, the discomfort or the agony or the weakness that you feel, you have control of that. Your body is the vessel that carries you through this lifetime. You want to be strong so that you can carry a lot. And I'm talking literally and figuratively. One thing I love about training is that when you get into your flow of working out, like once you've done your warm up, your couple sets in, couple stations in, however you choose to do your movement, is all your senses tend to turn in and you're only worried about yourself. Like if you come to my gym, you'll often hear me say like, leave your problems at the door and get the exercise out. If you want to pick them up when you leave, go for it, or we'll just brush them away at the end of the day. We'll let the rain take it. We'll let the wind blow it out. When you are locked into you and you're focused on your breathing, you're focused how your body's moving, you're focused on the weight and resistance in your hand, there's not much else that you can focus on, and you get to let your subconscious do a lot of work for you. Sometimes our conscious active mind is very reactional or it's only thinking on the surface, when we give it a physical task to occupy itself with so that your subconscious, the deeper inside of you, can start working on these problems that honestly are solved by deeper answers inside of you. So I say all that to say, when I say movement is medicine, if you're feeling angsty, you're feeling tired or all these different things, it's because an object in motion will stay in motion until acted upon by an opposite force. For those of you guys who sit all day long, of course you're not going to want to get moving at the first jump of it, but I promise you, once you get going, your body will like what's going on. That's that like second wind that they talk about, or like the runner's high that people get when you're first moving and working out. And then eventually your body goes, oh yeah, I've caught a flow with this. My blood's pumping, my muscles are awake. Let's keep doing it. You can't get to that unless you started making some action and some movement. And this is not just a training conversation. This is also a nutrition conversation. Food is fuel. If you're eating a bunch of crap, you're going to feel like crap. If you're eating a balanced diet, you'll feel a lot more balanced. Your body will signal you appropriately. Because a lot of times, some of us wake up because we've been eating so poorly, automatically, all the lights on your dashboard are just on, being like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, just because the fuel inside of us is of low quality. I want you to treat yourself like a racehorse, like a exotic sports car. Only go for premium goods, and I'm telling you, your body will feel better. Stop letting 16-year-olds handle your food, because if you know a 16-year-old, they're not the cleanest person, and their standards probably aren't super high. But I digress. Now, moving into our final training ground, it's the mind. The mind, the mind, the mind. I'm big into philosophy. One of the great philosophers, Seneca, he says, no man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. I love that. And this is not man as in like just a male, but this is just like humankind, man as a general statement for the population. And I want to say all that to say that like the resistance that you face is making you stronger. And the sooner you can kind of adjust your mindset to that being a truth, the better a lot of this will go. The hard times we face, they are building us. And what helps choose whether that stress was a good stress or bad stress is the perspective and the lens that we put on top of this. You know, if you hear the phrases of like, choose your hard. Hard is going to come. Do you want to choose it of you've been working on your patience to where you can tolerate a lot more? Or are you going to be impatient and the second one thing happens, you're now in a hard situation, you're frustrated, this, that, and the third. The more you can condition your mindset and your body, the more you can actually get through. The thing I like to tell people as far as how my coaching goes now, I work with everybody, is that we train the body, we open up the emotions, and we become agile with our mind. Those three training grounds are what we work on week in and week out, month in and month out, because those are like the trilogy of how we find success in life. If you feel strong, you're more willing to take on things. If your mind is sound, you can't be rattled from the inside and out. All those petty things that come at you or that doubt that you have within you, if you've been active about it, you have physical, mental, and emotional proof that you can get through anything, and that with the right mindset, you will come out on the other side better for it. My goal is to help you win at life. Life Athlete Coaching is all about that. The world's top performers all have coaches because that's the person you hire is an expert in their field. The same way that you went to school for whatever you went to school with to now have the profession that you're in, there's somebody else who did that same amount of 10,000 hours in a category that you chose not to, or maybe neglected or didn't have access to. So having a coach is a great thing because you have a biased third party who only wants to see you win. Your success is their success, and my success is your success. So the reason why we have these training grounds is I want you to be emotionally stable so that you have the confidence to do other things. There's another saying that hurt people hurt people. If you heal from the inside out, you can now go about life and heal others. How do I know that? I've done it myself. If you can have a strong and mobile body, when it comes time to help somebody else who's in a physical pinch, you can do that. Instead of being like, oh, there's some aspect of life that I am just not eligible for, screw all that. You can do whatever you want to, but it does take work on the front end. And then emotionally, you don't want to be a brick. You don't want to be that person who glazes over after 5 minutes of conversation with your partner or a friend who needs a shoulder to lean on or cry on because you're not stable emotionally yourself. I'll give you a quick tip of how to have a conversation with somebody. If somebody needs to vent, ask them, do you want to be heard? Do you want to be helped? Or do you want to be hugged? Some people are verbal processors. They're coming to you because they can't figure it out just in their mind. They need someone else to kind of volley those thoughts and ideas back and forth. And that's just all they need, someone to process. They may not even need your input, so they just need to be heard. Some people do need help. A lot of us can tend to maybe panic in certain situations, or maybe we're encountering something for the first time, and we come to our friend or our mentor or insert that person here to say, I don't know what to do. They want to be helped. Your job still is to listen first. They say you have two ears and one mouth so that you hear twice as much and you say minimum, or you say less. So if someone needs help, ask questions, get the full picture, then give them the feedback that they're asking for. Or for others, there's some people whose love language is just quality time. Can you just sit in the mud with me? Sit in this terrible situation in the rain because I feel lonely. I don't need answers. I don't need to be heard. I just need a physical presence. Some people need what I like to call as a body double. It's like, oh, can you come with me to do this? Can you come with me to do this? Why do I need to go with you? Because it feels nice. Because I want somebody to be accompanying me. I want a chaperone. Yes, I'm a grown man, but I can't just dance in my car by myself. I want to duet this thing. I say all that to say, you guys, these 3 training grounds, if you can work on them, they will make your quality of life improve. And you'll see yourself not only having more clarity, but even more of a deeper motivation and determination to reach those goals because you know what the goal is. Sometimes we feel like we're spinning our wheels because we're always adjusting the goalposts. We haven't dug deep enough to find out what that why is. But with that being said, I love you guys. All of my links are down in the description. If you want to grab a Dad Gang hat, if you want to schedule a discovery call with me, if you want to find me on my socials, Instagram, Facebook, if you want to be a part of my gym, all that should be down in the description. And don't forget to be the best you because the world needs that. And I'll catch you in the next one. I can chill. We can sit in the office and just talk back and forth. I appreciate you guys being here, and I will catch you in the next video.